Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Scoop Around the Loop. We got Brady here with us today. Brady, how is your week going?
My week has been going fantastic. Thomas, how has your week been going?
I have absolutely zero complaints. We also have Tyler here. Tyler, what about you? How's your week going?
My week has been busy and kind of stressful, but for good reasons, I suppose.
A little bit of a bounce back from July 4th weekend?
Yeah, and like a letdown because we were supposed to be on vacation, but some stuff came up and we didn't go on vacation. So I shouldn't be working, but I am. But it's probably a good thing that I'm working and just planning some other stuff. But if you got
In all
stuff,
fairness, you were just going to go to Minnesota, right?
yeah, but that place is, I love it there. That's literally the definition of do nothing all day, every day. And now I'm doing
This would be the time of year to go up there, too.
bugs are really bad.
The bugs are really bad here as well.
So imagine up there in the woods. And they say, I don't know if this is true, but I'm a taller person, so I give off more oxygen, or I should say CO2 coming out of my mouth when I'm breathing. And I guess that's what's attracted to them. So apparently bug. And I definitely, all my life, I've been a magnet. Like we'll sit around the campfire and no one else is getting bit up but me.
You might just smell the worst.
Well, apparently smelling like soap and stuff is what attracts the bugs. So maybe that's what it is because I smell good as hell. And if you know me, I'm very self-conscious of smelling. So I'm always making sure I take a couple showers a day. I put on deodorant. It's a good try, Brady.
I must have upped my hygiene this year because I feel like I've been getting ate alive by bugs.
I'm telling you, that's what I learned that last year in Minnesota when I was complaining about it to the guy who runs the little fishing cabin resort. He said, well, you're big, so there's more surface area, you give off more whatever it is when you.
I feel like that's something just a short person came up with to make themselves feel better about being short.
He's not short though.
As a fellow short person, I feel like that's something I would come up with. It's
Well,
like when I
maybe
would tell people that athletes sweat more because I sweat profusely when I work out.
that's what I'm saying, dude. I'm a sweaty monster, and so that's why I'm constantly showering and putting deodorant on.
You guys want to? We had the July 4th parade last week in West Des Moines. Do we have any notes, any recap that we want to talk about on the pod?
I was a sweaty monster in that thing too.
You brought a sweat towel, which I need to remember to do that next year.
Do you know how many shirts I went through?
Did you change shirts during the
No,
parade?
before the parade, while we were getting ready, I wanted to at least start the parade with a clean, unsoaked shirt. And before the start of the parade, I had switched my shirt 3 times while we were just standing there in line because I just pitted out on all my other ones. So then by the end of the parade, I was literally my entire shirt was soaked.
Brady, did you bring 2 shirts?
Nah, I just brought one. I wasn't too bad.
And you made the risky choice of wearing like all black too. I noticed
I did
that.
wear the all black, the Springer shirt. So
Kind of anti-America, to be honest. Isn't that
Well,
usually like
Was that
well,
a
okay.
is that
In
a
my
statement you were
in my
making?
defense, I was looking for USA flag overalls for the past 3 days, and Amazon had no overnight shipping, so I kind of had to go with what I was left. I was putting all my eggs in that basket.
I'm pretty sure I have people on my timeline that, are always out protesting and claim America's the worst ever, and they wear black on 4th of July.
Well, I do
No
not
joke.
do that.
I'm not trying to be funny, so find that curious. But
Think about it this way. Is there anything more American than protesting?
Hot dogs.
yeah, a lot. Football in the fall, the state fairs, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit.
We are going to be talking about the state fair. Let's get into that. I do want to say West Des Moines, heck of a parade every year. The turnout,
Yeah, I love it. It's a lot of fun.
yeah,
Great
it
time.
was. There was a pretty big guest in town, and there were still a ton of people at the parade, a ton of excited kids for basically everything. I mean, at certain points in time, I was handing out koozies, and there was kids that were still pumped to grab a koozie. I don't know what they're going to do with the koozie. Put it over their juice box? I don't know, but they were excited to have it. So the enthusiasm was great. I did hear one particular kid tell Andrew that they loved our commercials. Um, kid was just sucking up, but showing support.
I love that they call them commercials too. That makes us sound like we're Amazon. We have commercials, not boosted ads on Facebook. That
Didn't
doesn't
you
sound as
say
good.
you had someone uh, basically think you were famous because they saw one of your boosted ads on Instagram? I
I was
forget.
a kid. Um, I will say too that I feel like we all did a really good job of not just throwing out candy, which we had a lot of candy. We had a bunch of beads, water, but we pushed. I say this, and we have some left over, but we pushed our little flyers hard. Um, a
Yeah,
lot of
what did
these
we?
were handed out. I know I was kind of proud of myself, admittingly, for kind of getting out of my comfort zone and walking right up to people and telling people to give us a call when they're trying to buy and sell. I would either say, here's some reading material, or I would hit them with, here's some candy, and some solicitation has to follow. We're realtors. Or I would just hand it to them and say, think of us when you're buying and selling. And all of that seemed to get some like good reception. I'm not normally one to like tell random people that. That kind of makes me uncomfortable. So I
I
got out
do,
of my comfort zone a little bit and kind of did some person to person selling, which again I'm proud of.
I do think one thing that we should also point out for any small business owners or anyone that wants to be partners with us in the future, I think we did a pretty good job of kind of giving a platform to like some of our partners too. I know Brady was handing out coupons for his good friend that's a landscaper. We were handing out Green State stuff, Drake Home stuff. Um,
Precision.
but Precision. Marquis was in the parade with us. Who Marquis is our photographer. I mean,
We love doing stuff like that. We'd love to do it more too. We had some other people lined up, and just other stuff came up for them with the business of life, and they didn't end up participating. But um, yeah, we're all about that for sure. I mean, selfishly, it makes our part look a little bit bigger when we have more people and more businesses involved. Um, but again,
also
it's just a
be
way to
speaking
promote.
of that note too, be on the lookout for a Springer Brothers post and probably a post from my page, probably a post from Brady's page. Metro's best voting has started today. Springer Brothers team is nominated, and a bunch of our preferred vendors are also nominated too. So we would love to win as many of those as possible. So us and all of our friends can go ahead and put that Metro's best tag right next to our names. So
Yeet.
be on the lookout for that. Tons of partners are nominated for that. Let's get into some Iowa State Fair stuff. What do we got? State Fair that's going to be starting right around somewhere towards the beginning of August, right?
Yep. My birthday is August 10th, which is a Sunday, and that's the first Sunday of the first of two Sundays of the state fair. So it would start August 7th on Thursday, technically.
So I think what we're going to do, I got the whole long list of all the brand new foods that vendors are going to be offering at the state fair. And I think I broke it down all into categories. I think we all just kind of pick one from each category that we're most interested in. And maybe we make kind of a game plan for ourselves to try out some new food this year. What do you guys think?
Sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
sure. We could talk about this later, but I have had the same thing from the fair all my life, and it's never anything like too crazy. There's just like two or three stands that I just love the way they cook their food, but we'll get into that later.
You never
Uh,
want to try some new stuff?
for one, like I feel like I can never find any of these.
It
Like
is
all
kind of
like
tough. You have to go in there with a game plan and
yeah.
preferably a map. Because
Um
some of the vendors are pretty well hidden if you don't know exactly where you're walking
yeah, I feel
to.
like that's always my issues. Like I can never find deep fat fried Twinkies. I've always wanted to try those, but I can't ever seem to find them. I don't maybe I'm just
I think that's in one of the stands that is right by the grandstand, but I can
so it
verify
should
that
be
for you
easy to
later.
find.
But yeah, I think it is pretty easy to find. All right, so let's go through new options here. New Iowa State Fair Foods. This is the baked and fried treats category. We've got Beans and Beignets is making a fried dough powder sugar beignet. I cannot believe that's not been an offering at the state fair yet. We
What
got
a
a Captain.
name. So what do they serve? Like coffee?
I would hope coffee.
Or are they talking like baked beans?
I'm pretty sure it's coffee because I can't imagine eating baked beans with a beignet.
That's they say British people put baked beans on like their toast, don't they? That's what
We
I
got
thought was going on here for a second. Maybe it was like some British thing.
we got cafe colada funnel cake, which is a funnel cake with colada icing and streusel. Captain Crunch funnel cake, pretty self-explanatory. It's a funnel cake with Captain Crunch on top of it. Apple caramel delight. It's a waffle on a stick with a caramel apple candy. Deep fried banana s'mores. Deep fried peanut butter jelly with Nutella. So don't. It's peanut butter and Nutella. Interesting combo. Fried banana cream pie. And we got the butter cow tornado, which is a gooey buttery cake with butterscotch and butter cow candy. Brady, if you were to pick one item to try off of this list, what are you going with?
I'm leaning towards a deep fried PB&J with Nutella. That sounds fantastic. I'm a huge peanut butter guy, so I mean, I can eat it by the spoonful. So I think that's probably what I'd go with. I mean, some of these things also seem like just a little. I mean, I guess everything on this is a little much, but I mean
Deep fried banana s'mores does sound like a little much. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, is
I'm
it
not-
just a fried banana with chocolate, or is there actually like
it's fried banana with
marshmallow
chocolate, then I'm assuming there's some sort of marshmallow flavor. Or
Yeah,
otherwise
Thinking
I
that they have like a in addition to the marshmallow and chocolate on the s'more, there's a slice of banana.
Yeah.
That's what my thought was, but then
And then they deep fat fry it.
yeah.
I'm not the biggest Nutella fan. Does that make me a
Oh.
psycho?
I don't know if I've literally I can't ever remember a time I've had Nutella.
It's
In
not
my life.
as popular in Iowa.
I'm sure I've had it before, but there was a craze for it. I remember like in college, like people would just slap Nutella on a piece of bread. And again, that gets into like what I've heard about English food. Just
Tyler, what are you going after the beignet?
not if it has baked beans on it. They're tripping.
Doesn't have beans.
That deep fried PB&J with Nutella does sound intriguing to me because I've never had Nutella, but I'm a big PB&J guy. Like I still eat Uncrustables and I'll still slap some peanut butter jelly and I'll put it in the toaster. So I do love that. And then I love funnel cake as well, Captain Crunch funnel cake, and I love Captain Crunch cereal too.
I think I would go after that funnel cake. I think that was what was most appealing to me.
But I'm curious, like, I don't know.
How
Will
much
it
extra
make
depth does
that
Captain
much of a
Crunch add into
difference?
that? I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like it's just going to be a funnel cake with a little bit of extra crunch. Because sometimes you catch some of those Captain Crunches, and it'll like get up in your gum.
and it
I
just
don't
goes
know.
right after the top of your mouth.
It's like, yeah, funnel cake with a little bit of violence mixed in with the sharper Captain Crunch.
All right, even more dessert options. We got ice cream and frozen treats here. We got lemon cheesecake ice cream scoop, praline crunch caramel sundae, scotcheroo ice cream shake,
That's the
s'mores
one.
ice cream sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
sweet granny's apple delight sundae, Thelma's, shout out to Thelma's, lemon blueberry sandwich, big acai sherbet flight, butter beer cone, chocolate chip storm tomato, cookies and cream ice cream bar, green apple cream slush.
Thomas, what one are you looking for?
This might be the weirdest choice out of all these, but I can't think of a Thelma's ice cream sandwich that I haven't tried. So if I see that stand, I'm gonna snag that Thelma's lemon blueberry sandwich.
Now I know exactly where that Thelma's one is. That's right by the clock.
Okay, yeah,
That's the clock.
Thelma's, they have a s'mores ice cream sandwich that is delicious. They have snickerdoodle ice cream sandwich.
Oh, that one's so good. That's what I eat when I'm sick. I ate 4 of those when I was sick a couple months ago. It healed me. Bro, 4 of them in a row. I'm not even joking. I was housing those.
And that made you feel better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
What,
Man.
are you talking the big ones or the mini ones?
I don't know. I mean, they were probably.
Okay, the little ones. Okay,
like,
that makes me feel a little better.
Oh, man.
Tyler, what are you going after?
Well, Thelma's is right next door to where the Capital City League is hosted. So I was coming out and I saw a Thelma's truck leaving the bay, taking a shipment of Thelma's ice cream sandwiches somewhere right after the Capital City League last night. Um, I am looking at that Scotcheroo ice cream shake. We were literally at Van D's a couple weeks ago, and I said, why don't they have a Scotcheroo? I forget what they call them. Their blast, their version of a blizzard at Van D's in Johnston. I said, none of these places have a Scotcheroo mix-in, and that'd be fantastic in Iowa. I love Scotcheroos, um, and I love ice cream shakes. So that's mine on this list for sure.
Brady?
I couldn't agree more. If there's a pan of Scotcheroos in front of me, it's game over. Might be the number one dessert on my tier list. Honestly, S tier dessert
Scotcheroos.
for sure.
I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
Mhm.
They're up there.
Mhm.
They're for sure up there. I think
Now, side note, have any of you guys ever been to Dairy Zone? I know you guys haven't spent much time on the east side of Des Moines like I used to in college. But
I've
Dairy
driven
Zone,
by Dairy Zone a lot, but I've
you
never
got to
actually
stop
been.
there. That's a very, very underrated place. Everyone from the west side doesn't go over there because it's right on East University. But that's like a gym to that side of town, and it's very, very good, delicious ice cream.
Is it like Dairy Queen-esque, basically?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Most
it's
ice cream shops are, but
yeah. The ice cream itself is just really good. I don't know how to
okay.
describe it, but
Check out Dairy Zone.
yeah.
Go to the east side, check out Dairy Zone. If you're going to the State Fair, you'll be right over there. So just go ahead and do it. All right, one more dessert category. This is just the kind of one I threw into others. We got Holy Doly, which is jumbo cookies stuffed with cookie dough. Interesting. Oatmeal cream pie from What You Smokin', which is also interesting considering that's a barbecue truck.
They
Peanut butter
sell
cup
those at their
cheesecake.
restaurant.
Do they really? Okay, interesting. A Choco Tater, which might be the most interesting item on this whole entire list, which is a choco shell with mashed potato and coconut center.
That's why
Uh,
Iowa leads the country in all things unhealthy.
we got the butter cow tornado, gooey buttery cake with swirly butter cow candy. I think that's a double up. Bacon popcorn with smoky bacon on it. Freeze dried fruit mix from Jack Frost. State Fair Sweet Crunch, which is popcorn with M&Ms, pretzels, and chocolate. Pretty OG combo there. Strawberry cheesecake pecans and strawberry kettle corn. Tyler.
Out of this list, that bacon popcorn, that sounds kind of interesting. I'm admittingly, like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know if I'll actually get any of this because then it would mean not spending money on the things that I'm used to and love. You know what I mean? But the Choco Tater, that's one of those where it's like, I got to try this weird concoction.
There's no way that's good.
I don't like coconut, but I love mashed potatoes. And I kind of like chocolate. I don't know. I love mashed potatoes, though. It's just one of those if, like, you had 4 people.
I'm going to be super basic and go with that oatmeal cream pie. I know it's from What You Smokin', but I love oatmeal cream pies. So that's what I'm
Everything
going
else
to
What You Smoking puts out is pretty good, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Brady, what do you got?
Probably thinking the peanut butter cup cheesecake. Another great candy. I don't know. This list, I feel like I would probably stay away from more than no hate to any of these people, but I don't know. I don't think some of this stuff is quite my
I
cup.
can't imagine. This is just after I said I would eat an oatmeal cream pie sandwich. I can't imagine eating cheesecake at the State Fair.
Yeah, I don't know. The peanut butter cup is intriguing, though.
Yeah, I'm sure that's delicious. All right, this is an even longer list. Bear with me here. We got the savory meals. So this is what I would consider the good stuff. We got a new brisket tenderloin sandwich from the Rib Shack. Rib Shack is amazing. Chicken and waffle sandwich from JR South Pork Ranch. Double bacon cheeseburger balls from Bacon Box. Fairgrounds Fiesta wonton, which is a giant wonton with egg salad, jalapeno, bacon, and cheddar Flaming Hot Pickle Pizza, which is garlic ranch pickle pizza with hot Cheeto dust. Whoa. Hawaiian Hog, which is pork loin with coleslaw and pineapple on a bun. High Roller Roll, this is where it gets wild, guys, which is a lobster roll with caviar and gold leaf. And then we have the High Roller Combo, which you could get 2 lobster rolls and Dom Perignon. The HOQ wrap, which is lamb, chicken, and tofu with rice and kale and naan bread. JR's Bacon Regular BLT, which is a BLT but with half a pound of bacon on it. Lobster and biscuits and gravy with cheesy biscuit, rich lobster gravy. So it's just lobster gravy on it, which I don't know if that makes it any less heavy in your stomach. Maple bacon bourbon grilled cheese from What's Your Cheese. Nashville chicken mac pizza from Wise Guys Pizza. Smoked meatloaf platter from Blue Ribbon. That actually sounds delicious. Steak tips gnocchi. Surf and turf from DG's Grill. Sweet Stein's Shack Attack, which is cookies, cheese curds, bacon on grilled sourdough. And the Butcher's Donut, which is savory meat donut with barbecue glaze and chips from DG's Grill.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is a good list. Brady, that high roller combo, do you know what Dom Perignon is?
I do not.
It's because you're not a high roller. Interesting. I'll go ahead and get started because this list gets me excited. That smoked meatloaf platter, I will get that for sure. That sounds delicious. I like meatloaf. I like brisket. I like cheesy potatoes. I like coleslaw. All that sounds good. I will get that. That's the first one that we've talked about that I said I would get, that I would actually get.
I love gnocchi, so I'm going to go steak tips gnocchi. Love that.
I'm between 2 right now with the Hawaiian Hog and the Nashville Chicken Mac Pizza. Those both sound phenomenal.
Oh, that Hawaiian Hog sounds good to you.
I know, man. This is a list where, like, I feel like it's weird because, so I've only been in the fair. My first time was last year. So I feel like I'm cheating on the fair when I go to, like, this crazy stuff, and I've had none of, like, the classic, like, what everyone goes to the fair to, you know?
Turkey leg.
Well, last time you were at the fair, what did you get? Did you go to Campbell's Corn Dogs?
Yep. Got a corn dog. Got fresh squeezed lemonade.
What kind of question is that, Thomas? You know that dude went for some type of hot dog combo.
I knew it was coming.
I feel like you have to go to one of the Campbell's Corn Dog stands because I think that's the best corn dog. It's really, really easy to find because they have a ton of the stands. Fresh squeezed lemonade, I don't blame you for that choice. Did you get a root beer float?
I did not. I did have a pork chop on a stick. That was pretty good.
All right.
And then we went to, like, that new kind of, like, drink bar area up on the top, and there was, like, a cotton candy, like, Sprite mix, and then there was a lavender lemonade. And those were all right. They were about $15 per drink, so.
Bath soap lemonade.
Yeah, that's what it tasted like. It was not good.
I can imagine.
The real question is how much are they going to charge for this high roller combo?
With Dom Perignon, I mean, if you order a shot of Dom Perignon at the club, that's like, I want to know. That's like $50, isn't it?
It's pretty expensive.
For one shot. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking but I'm pretty sure it's like $45, $50. So I can't imagine what a shot of it costs at the fair, plus 2 lobster rolls on top of it. The other one that I find really interesting, and one of those that I would get, and split it with Hannah just so we can both, that Flamin' Hot Pickle Pizza. Hannah and I both love hot Cheetos. And I like pickles, and I like pizza, and I like garlic, and I like ranch. Everything on there I like. I'm curious to see what that all tastes like. Like, do they use – surely they don't use marinara. Ranch is the replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I don't think it would be – I don't like hot stuff. But if you're going to pair it with anything, a pickle would be a good thing to pair it with.
Are you one
There's
of the
a lot
guys
of good
that
stuff on this list. I'm looking over it a second time. Then you get into the cheese stuffed bacon wrap burger balls. Ooh. Oh.
I would
balls.
The one warning, I asked about the price on this because JR South Fork Ranch They've been doing that lobster roll for a long time, and it's good, but it's lobster, so it's really, really expensive. Because I think even their smallest roll that they sell,
Yeah, you can miss me with that stuff at the Iowa State
it's like
Fair. That's doing the
26 or
most.
28 bucks, I want to say. So that if they're doing two of those with Dom Perignon, it's gotta be 90 or $100.
Yeah, don't get me
I
started
roller.
on eating lobster at the State Fair.
Yeah, I feel
And
like that
then
goes against everything of the state fair.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that. Those people think they're too good for their britches.
in this high roller roll, they have to just be banking that no one's gonna order that. Like
Oh, I
caviar and
mean,
They got
gold.
like three. They're stocked up for like 3 a day.
people order that just to say they ordered it. I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
Brady, your final answer, is it the Hawaiian hog?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But I mean, everything on that one sounds fantastic.
Okay, more flaming hot Cheeto stuff. We got snacks and sides. We got that bacon popcorn on the list again. Sorry that some of these are doubled up. Flaming hot Cheeto fries,
That's the one.
gol- golden fried corn strips,
Ooh, that sounds
uh,
good too.
loaded cowboy fries, which is just thick cut fries with cheese and bacon,
We've had
maple
that.
bacon cheese curds, Philly cheese steak twisters, which are twister fries loaded with steak, onion, and cheese, voodoo chips, which are just homemade chips with black magic seasoning. Don't ask me what that is. And then voodoo fries, which is fries, queso, bacon, ranch. And I'm assuming some of the same seasoning. Brady, what are you going after?
Man, the Philly cheesesteak twisters and the voodoo fries sound fantastic. I'm a
I
huge
was
queso
I
guy,
was
but
eyeballing those Philly cheese steak
I
twisters.
think that's the one for sure. The twister fries too. Those are
Yeah, and
fantastic.
then maybe some maple bacon cheese curds. I can see myself
Yeah,
smashing these.
cheese curds are fire too. Twister fries, I think twister fries is a top two type of fry.
Is there any difference between twister fries and curly fries?
No, I was imagining they're the same thing.
Okay, all right, good. Then yes, I like
Steak
both.
fry might be number one. Waffle fries up there
I
as
could
well.
argue that twister fries are the ones that are the tight coil, and then the
Okay.
curly fries are loose. You know, those ones.
Then the twister ones.
The only waffle fries I've ever liked in my life are Chick-fil-A's waffle fries. Every
You
time I
remember
go to a
Granite
restaurant.
City?
Oh yeah,
Granite City used to have some good waffle fries.
Rest in
Jethro's
peace to
has
Granite City.
fantastic waffle fries too. You gotta try those. Whew.
Where at?
Jethro's.
Okay.
Some of that homemade ranch with them. The hot
See,
barbecue.
you say that. I like Jethro's regular fry. I order the regular fries over the waffle fries at
Nah,
Jethro's.
waffle fries on top for sure. You get
They're
more
too
too.
soggy. I feel like with the airflow in a waffle fry, it can get a little bit soggy since there's all those holes for it to get through. The gold fried corn strips. I love corn. I love everything corn. And flaming hot Cheetos fries are what stand out to me. The loaded cowboy fries and like the voodoo fries, and I feel like you can get that at Charlie's Sandwich Shop or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
that used to be in the mall. The maple bacon cheese curds. Talked about my trip to Minnesota. There's a restaurant up in Park Rapids, which is right kind of the small lake town that the lake we go to is at, and they have those, and we get those every time we go up there. Very, very good. I'm not a huge cheese curd guy, but the maple bacon flavor to it is awesome. So
Mm.
I highly recommend those to people if they've never had that combo. Pretty good.
Okay, so I think that is all. Let me double check. Oh no, we got one more. We got the on the stick / handhold section.
Thomas,
We
what were you
got.
gonna go for the other side for the other slide?
Hmm?
Were you going the Philly cheesesteak
Oh yeah,
too on
yeah.
that one?
Philly cheesesteak twisters. Yeah, that's.
Bang. Great
It,
choice.
unless I'm feeling really really full, then I'll probably just scope out those maple bacon cheese curds. But Philly cheesesteak twisters sounds delicious.
You got to
Oh,
eat till you're about to throw up at the Iowa State Fair, I feel like.
the real strategy, if you want to try a bunch of stuff, is also bring a significant other that also wants to try a bunch of stuff. So then you just split everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, honestly, if I go to the fair, I don't do the whole day thing. I normally just get there like late afternoon and then stay throughout the night. And you really can only stop at like 2 or 3 places before you feel like you want to hurl.
We
So
usually do a 2-day thing at the fair. One day since we've had Isaiah, and I mean even before we've had Isaiah, one day we go like in the morning and look at stuff and go to the different buildings and all that stuff, and then another day we come back and treat it more like a date night type of thing at the Iowa State Fair, which is the best date night there is. Growing up, we didn't go to the fair a lot, but since because like I don't know, my parents had 4 kids, and we couldn't just get whatever we wanted. So like the fair wasn't when you're just walking by a bunch of stuff that you want, but you can't get any of it. It's really not. But now that I have my own money, like I specifically set aside money, or like work the fair money into the August budget every year. I love the fair. I love trying all this stuff for sure.
yeah, we went. I mean, it felt like we went pretty much every single summer from when I was like 10 to 16, 17. And yeah, going with your parents is a little different because now they seem
dude.
to have money and they don't want to buy you absolutely everything.
You better pick up a couple shifts the week before the fair or something, Mom. Yeah. So we can spend some money.
All right, on a stick / handheld section. We got a full mozzarella corn dog. Mozzarella stick in corn dog batter. Pretty simple. Hot Cheetos mozzarella corn dog. Also sounds delicious. Potato half and half corn dog. Half dog, half cheese, coated in fries. Saigon lobster bomb, battered baguette stuffed with lobster. Sloppy dog.
Getting excited.
Sloppy dog, which is a hot dog topped with sloppy joe and cheese. Soy on a stick, which is skewered fried soy. Interesting. 3 little pigs, a trio of handballs with different glazes on them from what you're smoking. Bacon chicken ranch egg roll, chicken, bacon, cheddar, and ranch in a crispy egg roll. Chicken pickle ranch rocket, pickles, and grilled chicken drizzled in ranch butter. Chicken spandini, breadcrumb crusted chicken with amago sauce. Classic Korean corn dog, which is sausage and cheese and sticked in a sweet batter. Kraft link on a stick, so sausage links on a stick. Foot-long hot Cheetos corn dog. Tyler, are you going hot Cheetos again? Something hot Cheetos?
None of these things. Oh no, none of these really sit right with me. If I catch any of you guys eating soy on a stick at the Iowa State Fair, I will slap it out of your hand.
Not even a bacon chicken ranch egg roll, because I think that sounds delicious.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to choose.
Which
the
one?
Bacon chicken ranch egg roll.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. That sounds like a good choice too. But man, if I thought eating lobster at the State Fair is bad, if I catch any of you eating skewered fried soy, you're in trouble. I might spank you in the fair.
Brady, you don't want a sloppy dog.
No, I'm going to pass on that. I'm not.
Brady,
it's not because of the hot dog. It's because of the sloppy Joe. I'm not a sloppy Joe guy. I'm surprised Tyler's passing up that foot.
Brady's going to order the sloppy dog and look at the people right in his face and scrape the sloppy Joe off the hot dog in his mouth.
Wait, Brady, do you like chili cheese dogs?
I've never had a chili cheese dog.
What?
You know how he likes his hot dogs, plain, no bun.
Yep. Just get him down,
The word to Joey Chestnut.
Have you seen the clip where he choke slams the guy and then eats another 30 hot dogs after that? Bro, that's me if you're messing with my dogs.
Did you see what he ate on the 4th? Did you see what he ended up
getting? Yeah, he beat him by 35. He blew the other people out.
70 and a half hot dogs, Brady.
I don't know.
The question I had is if you give you, me, Tyler, and Andrew 10 minutes, can we together eat that many hot dogs?
No. I'm good for 2 in 10 minutes, max. I'm good for 2, so you guys are going to have to pick up the slack.
I mean, I think I could get 20 in 10 minutes. 20?
You could not eat 20 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That's 2 minutes.
He's a glizzy gladiator. like we've been joking. He's for real, the glizzy man.
No, if I prepped and I took this serious, dude. Oh, I'm getting double digits for sure. 20 might be.
I would puke on myself 1 bite into the 3rd.
I'm not sure I could eat 5. I had a hot dog the other day, and I thought about it as I was eating it. There's not a chance. Like,
Dude, it gives me the heebies. I remember there was a point in life where they just all your friends would talk about is like, you know what's in a hot dog, right? And that's just always kind of stuck with me. And it's like now it's in my head, my adult head, that if I eat a hot dog, it has to be charred a little bit because that somehow gets rid of the pig intestines that are in there. It like neutralizes if you char it a little bit. But like I would never eat a boiled hot dog or a roller grill hot dog or anything. It has to be a barbecued hot dog.
did you guys have any opinions on the Joey Chestnut Usain Bolt debate? Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, if who would win in a race if they both had to eat a hot dog first?
So
Joey Chestnut would.
they would eat a hot dog and then run a 100-meter
Yeah,
dash.
Joey Chestnut would win 100%. Joey Chestnut would essentially have like a 30-second head start on him, probably, right?
Probably 20, 25-second head start, right?
Yeah, Joey Chestnut is winning that. It's not even close.
Dude, he just swallows them. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. People are underestimating how quickly Joey Chestnut could eat one hot dog.
Well, he did 70 in 10 minutes. So you figure it takes him 10
do the
minutes
math
to
on that, and then you have to assume to eat one hot dog, he would, if you were to average out how long it took him to eat 70 or whatever, he would eat one hot dog much faster than that. Like he would just open his gullet and it would slide right down.
And it's not like he's some extremely obese guy. So it's like,
yeah,
he's got to be running 100-meter in what, 20, 25 seconds, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty slow for someone who knows how to run.
That's pretty slow. That's not. Yeah, I don't think. Now, if it's a 200-meter, I think Usain Bolt would catch up. But 100 meters,
that's fair.
He's going to win that race. All right, Tyler. Since you don't try new things at the state fair, what is normally your strategy?
Well, every 2 years, and we're due for it this year, non-food wise, we go and get a character done.
Okay.
They've done me I'm doing a terrible job at showing you guys. They've done me bogus 3 out of the 4 years. Like look at the one where I'm in an orange shirt. I look like I'm straight out of a cave, like a Neanderthal. The one with Isaiah, I feel like is most accurate. I look kind of handsome in there. But it's 2 years now, so we'll have to get a caricature done. But food wise, I always stop by the Mexican street corn stand and get corn on the cob. They take that skewer and they just dump it into a bucket of butter. It's really like, if you think about it, the most overpriced food there because they'll charge you like $12 for it. And then behind it, they just have a table full of seasoning. But then I just get like 5 seasonings and throw it on there. And like I said before, I love sweet corn, corn on the cob. That's like my favorite food. I would tell you that in the middle of November, December too.
Not
like
very filling as well too. So good strategy as far as eating.
Yeah. And then there's a place, and it's really, I mean, like a food you can eat at any point. But I just love this combo of food where there's steak tips, and then you can get potatoes, onions, and green beans. And if you like mushrooms, you can get mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms, but it's just they just slap it all on a plate, and it's like a country. I forget what they call it, a steak tip country dinner or something like that is what they call it. And those 2 spots are every single time. See that cat? Every single time I've been to the fair since I've had my own money, we've gotten those two things. But then again, tradition wise, we get these caricatures done, and then we always spend some time at the beer tent, try some different craft brews. This year, on the 10th, which is a Sunday, again, the first Sunday of the fair, I turned 30, and I have a handful of friends coming in from out of town to celebrate my 30th with me. So we're definitely spending some time at the Iowa State Fair. I don't think any of them, even though they lived here, the Iowa State Fair would get done like right before they came back to Des Moines for school at Grandview. So none of them have ever been to the Iowa State Fair. They've obviously heard a bunch about it with living here a little bit. So I'm pretty excited to show them around. And by no means am I like an Iowa State Fair expert, but it's just one of those things where I'm especially excited this year because you guys know, we all take great pride in the state of Iowa and think it's a pretty cool place and stuff like that. So just kind of showing off different. One of the big things that the state of Iowa is known for. I'm really looking forward to it this year for that reason.
Have they even announced what the rotating butter sculpture is going to be this year? I mean, obviously they're going to have the cow, but I
Is
don't know.
Caitlin Clark back again? Angel Reese.
Brady,
did you guys hear? I might be wrong about this, but there was something I thought, like the Iowa State Fair is going to kick off the 250th birthday next year, or something like that.
Well, they're gonna have. Didn't Donald Trump
like a
just announce
United
that they're
States
gonna have a
Fair.
birthday party, 250th birthday party at the Iowa State Fairgrounds?
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be crazy. Have some big
Yeah,
names
we'll
there.
see if it just turns into a annoying MAGA fest. I don't want to get too political, but we all, even Republicans, know what we're talking about, like the annoying MAGA fest. That sometimes that stuff attracts. So hopefully it's kind of gets people.
Hopefully it'll be some good attention for the state of Iowa.
Yeah, it has the potential to be really cool, but I kind of fear it's going to turn into like an extreme right.
I mean, it already seems packed the way it is, and then you're starting to bring people in from all over the country even more than what it already does.
I think it's going to be a whole separate week, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going to be during the state fair.
It's next summer, I think, but it's just like at the Iowa State Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
But,
Brady, are you going back to the state fair this year?
Oh, yeah. I had a great time. We actually did have the steak tips that Tyler was talking about. I remember that, but it was cool. I mean, we went, saw the butter cow, all the zoo animals. She's got a little niece and nephew, so we kind of did all that stuff. So some of the stuff
have you guys ever have you? So you haven't been there a bunch. You didn't even go as a kid?
No, first time was literally last year.
So there's a lot you probably didn't see. Like, did you see the giant bull that they have there? That's I don't know why. Every single year I'm just amazed by that thing.
Didn't see
that. It's like how big is it? Like 800, 900 pounds or something like that. And then you got to go to the snake house. I think the snake house is super fascinating. There's just like probably 10 yards down, and then you wrap around the corner and go another 10 yards, but there's 70 snakes on display.
Jeez.
So that's pretty
cool.
Did
you go down the big slide, Brady?
Yes, we went down the big slide.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Got to. Have you ever?
Anyone that's watching right now, drop a comment, see what I should do. And
there you go.
Maybe I'll make a video. Maybe I'll make a video, try out everything people suggest.
Yeah, he'll just do absolutely everything people suggest. So it makes
and then the Bill O'Reilly talent show. If we always like to pop over to that stage and just check it out. A couple of times we've seen some real talented kids doing their thing, and then we always try to make it to, like, if there's just some. I remember a couple of years ago we went to the husband calling competition. That had me dying for an hour. These women just getting up on stage, just screaming for their husbands. It was awesome. They have a bunch of cool stuff like that too that I think is pretty underrated, and obviously there's schedules to that. But obviously, pick a day that you're going and actually look at what's going on, and you'll find some pretty interesting events that you'll never watch.
I mean, literally, if you look at the schedule for the free stage, you don't even have to pay for stuff. Like, there's some good shows that you can go see for free. I mean, I think last year 50 Cent was at the free stage, like, for an interview. He didn't perform, but he was there just talking about stuff. It was kind of funny.
Interesting.
And I went and watched that for free on accident.
I can't decide if I want to buy, like, concert tickets. I've heard the speakers are trash.
The what?
I'm not a huge concert guy, but we went to Chris Stapleton a couple years ago, and it was good to me.
Def Leppard's playing. I'm gonna try to talk my dad into going to Def Leppard.
T-Pain. That's the one I would want to go. Is T-Pain.
Yeah, that'd be cool. He was in Waukee a couple months ago and missed out on that. But yeah.
And then one last, if you guys can make it, you guys have got to watch the teenagers / like middle schoolers in the swine competitions where they have the little thing that they beat the swine on the back with to make it walk straight and stuff. And like a part of their scoring is their facial expression to the judges. So these kids will just be looking dead in the face while beating a pig with this thing, and just like as you're walking around the ring, it's something it's like screams Iowa to the fullest. It's the most
Oh,
Iowa thing you'll ever see. I'm looking
All
forward
right,
to it.
Tyler,
Shout out to the state fair.
you're
shout
taking
out.
over. When we'll talk about the state fair more once it gets closer. I think we can probably even do like a whole episode on the state fair. But I wanted to highlight the new food that was coming in. Tyler, talk about 3701 Wright Street in Des Moines.
Yeah, so 3701 Wright Street is located just north of Euclid Avenue over by like Grandview University and Park Fair Mall in Highland Park, Oak Park area. I don't know if you would technically consider this Oak or Highland Park or like Union Park, but anyways, um, the most attractive thing about this house is it's move-in ready and it's for $185,000, which the combo can be kind of hard to find. It has a nice fenced-in backyard, a garage that's usable, has some finish in the basement. Admittingly not a ton of bells and whistles, but for $185,000, it's a pretty good deal.
That third bedroom in the basement, I see that's non-conforming. I'm assuming it's because there's no egress.
Yeah, it's just a room.
You've walked through it. Would it be extremely hard to get an egress window in there? Like, is it not possible?
No, it's possible. Put your teenager down there, guest bedroom, something like that. At our old house, we had the same exact setup, and it was our guest bedroom. But yeah, again, a nice price point on a side of town that has a lot of I don't know if government funding is the right word, but grants and stuff and incentives to kind of revitalize the area there with like the Highland Park Business District along 6th Avenue and Euclid Avenue.
Is this a NFC neighborhood?
Yep.
Okay.
Quick
And
access to the interstate, quick access to Ankeny, really. If you just go up to East 14th, which turns into Northeast 14th, which turns into Ankeny Boulevard. So pretty, if you're a frequenter of like downtown Des Moines and Ankeny, maybe you're a couple and one works downtown and one works in Ankeny. This is kind of a perfect halfway point. If you have a kid that's going to Grandview, why spend all that money on room and board at dorms that don't have air conditioning in them, and spend the money on a spot like this?
could it go FHA?
Yeah, it could go FHA for sure.
So yeah, I mean at 184.9, you could qualify for a 3.5% down payment on it.
And again, it's not like not anything crazy, but like you just see different things. Like you notice that driveway, like it's not all cracked up and bruised and battered and all that stuff, and just the siding and there's like black awnings on the windows, which are kind of outdated to some, but I think kind of add a nice little charm, especially when they're in good shape. The roof was put on in like 2017, 2018. So again, not brand new, but it's functioning just fine and has plenty of life left. No dead trees or, anything like that going on. So,
Well, I think you could kind of talk about with this one, when we kind of talked about it a little bit with 29th Street as well, a listing that we just closed on last week. But I think this would be one for a younger home buyer to get into, and then when it comes time to move out of it, it would pretty easily turn into a rental. Because I'm assuming the rental market there would be pretty strong with it being so
yeah.
close to Grandview.
And with that, I had two people yesterday say they wanted to get into real estate and they wanted to buy rental properties, and younger guys, and we hear that all the time. And with that, I always tell them that like the first thing you can do is put yourself in a position to buy your own home, and that's going to teach you a whole lot about the home buying process and how all that works and terminology and all that stuff. So yeah, I agree with you. This is a great option for it's not a big house.
But you could probably, I mean, if you're a single guy or lady, and you know
and
someone,
that's what this seller was. He was a single guy. Now he's married.
yeah,
They're moving states and buying a bigger home, but that's exactly what this guy's story was he was a single guy, and it was
Right.
perfect for him.
And I mean, even if you have one roommate that you could have house hack this 4 or 5 years down the line, you'll have quite a bit of equity into it, and you can either upgrade yourself and keep it as a rental, or make the money off the equity, and you weren't paying a whole big monthly payment that whole time because you were renting it out at the same time. I mean,
Yep,
it's
and
a pretty appealing option.
I think that the neighborhood is up and coming. Again, you slap this into the middle of Beaverdale, and this is a $225,000 house pretty easily. $220,000 house pretty easily, but just by going just a little bit to the east, a couple miles, you get a house for 40 grand less, depending, somewhere around that range. And right around the corner is the Northeast 14th Bebops. And on Saturdays and Sundays, they have $1. Back in the day, it was like $1.29, but now I think it's up to like $1.69 quarter-pound cheeseburgers.
Still a deal. Still a big deal.
Man, is it ever? Anywhere else you got to pay $8 for a quarter pound. So,
are you still texting mom to put $5 in your account so you could go to Bebop's, Tyler?
I am not. I don't eat at Bebop's as much anymore because I can't. Back then we were burning 2,000 calories a day. I can't afford Bebop's anymore. My stomach can't afford Bebop's anymore.
Brady, anything stand out to you about this place that Tyler and I haven't already mentioned?
I mean, for sure. I was showing buyers in this price point, kind of this area too, a couple months ago before some unfortunate circumstances happened that some may have heard about. But I mean, just from the pictures alone, this sounds like it would have been a great option for them. I agree with Tyler. I do like the black awnings. Some people might not be a fan, but then I mean the oversized one car garage is a huge plus. Some of the ones we were looking at were even above this and had no garage, so they're going to have to figure something out for that. Fully fenced yard, great. And yeah, the finished basement, third non-conforming. I mean, all of these things are things that are going to help you, especially when they're at the price point it is. So, I mean, initial thoughts is it would have been a great fit for them and something I definitely would have showed them if it was listed at that time. But
this is kind of a dumb thing to fixate on because in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of a small thing. But that whole lot looks extremely flat and usable.
Mm-hmm. I would. So to critique people, and just because or critique it a little bit, and just because we're all about transparency over here, kind of the one annoying thing right now is coming from Euclid. So literally just a couple houses south of 3701. They're redoing Euclid, which in the long term will be great. I mean, not even in the long term. In a couple months, it'll be great. But that's Wright Street from Euclid is closed right now because I think they're doing some underground work. So you got to come on the backside. So that's a minor inconvenience. But again, once that's all figured out, the whole stretch of road is going to be brand new. A couple other things. Again, these are small, but when you're talking about a $185,000 house that doesn't have all the bells and whistles, we like to point out the different things. The arches, the photo kind of makes, especially the bottom left one, makes it look like it's like a fun house or something like that. Those are standard doorways. They're not super compressed or tight or anything.
Yeah.
Arches kind of add a nice pop to it. In the top right picture, you could kind of see a pad off to the side of the garage where you could have a grill or, an outdoor seating area. And there's also a back door. So there's 3 total doors, one on the side and the driveway there. And there's also a back door. And I found that a lot of times with these smaller houses, they don't have a back door. So having that back door is nice if you have a pet or just, to entertain a little bit. You don't have to send people through your driveway. You can just keep it all in the back. And the last thing is the kitchen has a gas range. I know a lot of people like gas ranges over electric ranges, so it's all ready to go if you are someone that prefers the gas range.
And if you think you wouldn't like a gas range and you've never tried one, you would like it better. I guarantee it.
I've never had a gas range personally.
I miss my gas range that I used to have every single day. It heats up stuff so much quicker. It's actually easier to clean, in my opinion. It's better. So if you've never had a gas range, don't be afraid of it. So
Yeah,
all
some people
right.
are afraid of gas range. That technology, and I don't even call it technology, but like the fittings that they use for gas stuff in homes are so much better than what they used to be. Um,
You just have to be careful to not bump into it and have it turned where gas is coming out and it's not lit.
yeah,
That's the only thing. And if it does happen, open up your windows, get the fans running, and don't hang out in the house.
smoke a
That's
cigar in the house.
so, that's all. That is it. Let's talk about one last thing. Kind of a real estate topic. When you're showing buyers homes, what are some red flags that you see that you think a lot of buyers ignore, or at least buyers that aren't as savvy? What do you think they should be paying attention to? What are some red flags you see that they don't typically see? Brady, you have one that comes to mind right off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think some of the people I've been working with are looking more at the price than they are how it would be for them as they grow. So, like a family right now, I'm working with, or not family, just boyfriend and girlfriend. There's a house we were looking at. It was a little bit better of a deal, nothing crazy, but I mean, to me personally, when they start to grow and get kids, the layout just isn't really going to work for them. So I think sometimes like that future thought of how the house is going to look for them is
I
sometimes.
would add on to that too the future thought of where you are
Hmm.
too.
Yep, for
Because
sure.
I've had a lot of younger couples that didn't have kids when they purchased, then they had kids, and they realized how far away from their parents
Hmm.
they are, and it all of a sudden became more annoying once they had kids.
Yeah.
So
I mean, school districts, everything like that, especially when you're starting to get into like a pricier home and you're still younger, maybe don't have kids. I mean, that's something where you're going to want to consider you're going to want to be somewhere long term where you're getting all the appreciation from that house and making back your investment in the long run.
yeah,
So,
the big thing with that too, I don't think a lot of younger couples that don't have kids don't think about too is like where the master bedroom is and is there another bedroom on that floor. That's one that kind of sneaks up on people too that they don't realize how important that would be. Or at the very least, is the master bedroom big enough to have like a crib slash nursery
yeah,
in there? Because just going up and downstairs for a baby is a long night.
for
So,
sure.
which I don't know anything about that. I just know it from people complaining to me about it. So, Tyler, any red flags that people don't see when they're looking at homes?
A lot of like water retention
Hmm.
issues, just different things like downspouts and um, grading and things like that have become more so just because of the number of inspections I've been through have just kind of become things that I look at quite a bit. And we kind of can get an idea, especially on an older home, how the foundation is looking just from the outside. And a lot of times, if those issues have been going on for a while, they're not like they didn't just happen yesterday or something like that. So that's one. And then I would also say neighbors. Um, kind of, I'm super blessed. We love our neighbors. Um, but honestly, like we probably wouldn't be, our neighbors have caused our timeline for living in this house I'm sitting in right now to change. Like we're kind of open to staying a little bit longer because we don't want to leave our neighborhood. Whereas the opposite can definitely be true. Neighbors can definitely speed up um, your timeline in the house and make you end up um, getting out of your house a little bit sooner. So just,
What
I want,
what would be what would be your advice for that as far as like when looking at the house? Like, do you advise people to if they think that?
like if your kitchen is like looking into their backyard, just different things like that. Like how will your neighbor affect your day to day life? And depending on the lot or the neighborhood and stuff like that, it could actually be kind of a nuisance. And other times there's just the way streets are laid out and things like that. You're not looking at your neighbor all the time. Like I remember Andrew and I's grandma and grandpa, they have a house. Um, just west of 60th Street in West Des Moines. And remember when I was a teenager, there it was not enough to make a move or anything, but their backyard neighbor, they both of them would always change naked in the floor in the window that my grandparents could see plain as day into. Like it was like, dude, are you guys this? Do you guys not care? Are you guys just like tone or like just blind to what you're doing? But just different stuff like that. Like again, you can change your house.
Well, and
Um,
then how many times too have you been showing a house where like it's clear as day one of the neighbors that they're next to is just hoarding stuff in their
well,
backyard
and
too?
yeah, and that's more so what I'm getting at is like you don't want, especially in some of these older neighborhoods that the houses are older and that, so therefore they need more care. They can affect your property values, and um, there's a fine line of like, okay, these people are just old, is kind of, or it kind of taking all that into perspective, and that's why I think driving around the neighborhood is good. If we go look at a house, you guys are thinking about it, make a drive back without us, without your real estate agent, do a loop around the neighborhood, see what you see the people you
Pick a
see.
good time of day to go there too. Like I would really suggest like driving by, somewhere between that 4 or 6 range when the neighbors are most likely gonna be out like outside of the house and, kind of get a vibe of what the neighborhood is like then too. And anticipate what it's gonna be like at different times of day. Cause my very first house that I bought in Waterloo, surprisingly enough, they let me buy a house that was across the street from an elementary school. And, and I knew when I bought it, like, hey, it's across the street from an elementary school. There's going to be certain times of day where that's annoying. But before I bought it, I didn't actually drive there in the morning and kind of look at what school pickup was like. And it was roughly 10 times more annoying than I thought it would be.
Mm.
Well,
Like
you hate kids too, so
I don't hate kids. Majority of the times I hate kids' parents. Um,
Mm.
because like some of them, I mean, some days they would park in like block in my driveway because they were waiting to drop off their kids and stuff like that, and I had to honk to get them to move so I could go to work. Just
like, I
different.
gotta get to Shields.
This is important. I got visas to sell, so just different stuff like that to kind of anticipate what could potentially be annoying about that neighborhood too, and like get it if you're going by in the morning around 7 or 8, or in the afternoon between 4 and 6, you can get an idea what the traffic is like at the peak traffic times too. Which, thankfully enough, a majority of times, Tyler, Brady, you guys could probably agree, we're probably showing houses between 4 and 6, so it's a really good time to go there. So, but I agree with Tyler. Water water retention is a really really big thing to think about. Like, and it kind of like if you're walking around the exterior and you see that the grading's crappy and you go into the basement and you notice that the basement foundation walls were freshly painted, that's kind of a red flag to me too. It's like, what, like, were they potentially trying to hide things or make things look nicer than they really are? You know, kind of
Yeah,
makes you
I
start
feel like
thinking.
I've gotten better at like just kind of recognizing the age of the mechanicals and systems in the home, and depending on who the buyer is, if they're already strapped for cash, like we don't need to get you into a house that has a 20-year-old HVAC system, 20-year-old roof, all new, all old windows and things like that, because in a couple of years you're going to absolutely hate home ownership.
Right.
Where some of that stuff I probably could have, your
And
realtor could have advised a little bit better and made you more aware of the additional costs that are probably going to have to be spent. Maybe not right away but 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Like, look, these things all need to be replaced. So
right. And it's kind of tricky, right? Because like if you're in that price point that like that Wright Street home was in, you're kind of lucky if you can find one that has a new HVAC or has new windows and has a new roof. Like, you're more than likely not going to get all of those, but you got to be cautious of what is the update on all that stuff: the roof, the windows, the HVAC, and then what kind of condition the foundation is in. Brady, no, you're not frozen too. Tyler's gone.
I think just kind of like, yeah, I had a weird little glitch there. What was so sorry? What were you saying?
How often when you're walking through homes are you factoring in the age of mechanicals and important structures for buyers? Like, are you talking about how old the roof is? Are the windows replaced?
Yeah, for
How old
sure.
is the HVAC?
For sure. I mean, I think those are all big things, especially when um, you might be working with a new buyer or something like that, where they're not factoring in, okay, we're going to pay this much for the house, and then we're going to have to pay, upwards of 50, 60,000 more dollars just to replace all this stuff. Like that's a new roof, everything like that. That's all stuff you're going to want to have squared away. So I think that's definitely something that can influence your thoughts on
It,
what you want to pay for it, or if it's even.
what up,
Oh,
Zay?
what's up, Zay?
You say hi? All right. He just woke up from his nap. I heard him crying for me. He was
Well,
scared.
and
He didn't know where I was.
Hey.
I think the unfortunate thing is too is like if you have first time home buyers, I feel like a lot of them get more caught up and more excited about seeing a home that has a fresh kitchen remodel or a fresh bathroom remodel as opposed to getting excited if they happen to walk into a home that the HVAC roof and windows are all new, whereas like that doesn't have quote unquote the sex appeal, but that's all stuff that if it breaks, you have to replace immediately. Whereas if you walk through a home that doesn't have a kitchen you love, you could do that on your own timeline and whatever budget you want to do, and you can make it your own. Whereas if someone's already remodeled the kitchen for you, it would be a shame to remodel it again, but it's not exactly what you would have picked. So I think buyers should kind of think about that when making their decisions. Kitchen remodels are very, very expensive, but you don't technically have to do them. You can
Yeah, I
just
would say master bathrooms too. Those are crazy now, and people, especially when they're looking for maybe an older home that they might get a little bit better of a deal on. I mean, you're not going to want a dated master bathroom as much as you say that's going to be fine. You're going to want a newer layout that has more space, and that can be, I mean, $20,000, $30,000 in and of itself, depending on how crazy you're going.
right.
So.
Right. Tyler, any final words of wisdom to end the podcast?
Can you say buy a house with my dad? Do it. Say buy a house with my dad. Not going for it. Nope. Nothing. That
Okay.
good episode, I think. A lot talked about.
I think eventually we'll get Isaiah on tape saying buy a house from the Springer Brothers.
Can you say
But
it?
other
Spring up, but just say buy a house with my dad. Huh? What's your dad do for work? Do you know what he does for work?
Yeah.
What's he do?
Yeah.
Say it loud.
Yeah.
Say it loud. He says, sell houses.
Zay, can you say thank you for watching?
Thank you for watching.
Oh, money.
Yeah.
Have a good day, guys.